gymnosperm, the fruits are completely absent. Fruits are absent means we can say no fruits. Okay. The seeds are not formed inside the fruit. That's why we can say the fruits are absent inside the fruit. Okay. Then seeds are naked. Naked in the sense the seeds are formed by the ovule. Remember this one, seeds are formed by ovules. Here in case of gymnosperms, the ovules are naked. Naked in the sense no ovary wall. The seeds are developed after the fertilization. Otherwise we can say that the seeds are developed by the ovule after fertilization or post fertilization. They are naked. Okay. Here gymnosperms. The gymnosperms are the group of plants. They are commonly medium sized trees. Medium sized trees we can see in case of gymnosperm. Okay. Then the medium sized trees are maybe tall and we can say shrubs also. Gymnosperms includes the medium sized trees and few tall trees also and usually shrubs. Here the very important thing, very tall gymnosperm, otherwise the tallest gymnosperm is sequoia. This is the redwood tree. It is very largest gymnosperm in the earth. The roots of the gymnosperms, before going to start the plant body structure, the gymnosperms are commonly found in snowfall areas. These are usually evergreen plants. ನಿತ್ಯ ಹರಿದ್ವರ್ಣ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಓಕೆ, ನಿತ್ಯ ಹರಿದ್ವರ್ಣ ಕಾಡುಗಳು ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಓದಿರ್ತೀವಿ. There we can see the gymnosperms, evergreen forest. In that evergreen forest we can commonly see the gymnosperms. Okay. Here now we can discuss about the plant body structure. The roots, before going to start that, the gymnosperm plant body is completely differentiate to form root, stem and leaves. Okay, it is one of the higher plant category. The roots having the taproot system. Initially, while discussing about the classification of plant, I told that the gymnosperm and angiosperms are comes under the phanerogams. In that phanerogam characteristic feature, that is a taproot system. In Kannada we can say tai beru anta. Okay. The taproot is present in case of gymnosperms. Example for the gymnosperm, that is Phinus. Phinus is the example of the gymnosperm. In case of Phinus, otherwise we can say that in some gymnosperms, here I will write, in some gymnosperms, the roots which are infected by fungi. Fungi is a group of organism infected by fungi. Suppose consider this is the root. Okay, inside the root the fungi are present. Fungi is myceliated structure. Inside the root the fungi are symbiotically associated. Fungi symbiotically associated it is also known as mutualism. Symbiotically association of the gymnosperms and fungi, that is known as a mutualism. Such roots are called as mycorrhiza. Okay, where any plants which are associated with the fungi, any plant roots which are associated with the fungi, those roots are known as a mycorrhiza. Okay. Example, the mycorrhiza in case of gymnosperm is present in Phinus. Phinus is an example for the gymnosperms. Okay. Then some other species of gymnosperms, that is cycas. Cycas is another example of a gymnosperm. In case of cycas, the roots which are not associated with the fungi, instead of fungi, the roots infected means association, infected by bacteria and forms a pores. When the cycas root which is infected by the bacteria which forms a pore on the roots of the cycas. Consider this is the root. Okay, this is the root of cycas. When the bacteria infects the root, it forms a pores on. ಯಾವಾಗ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದ ರೂಟ್ಸನ್ನ, ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದ, ರೂಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಹೋಲ್ಸನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, ಪೋರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ರೂ ದಟ್ ಪೋರ್ಸ್, ಆ ಪೋರ್ಸಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಾ, ಥ್ರೂ ದಟ್ ಪೋರ್ಸ್ ಅನಬೆನ್ನಾ ಸೈಕ್ಯಾಡೆ. ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್, ಅನಬೆನ್ನಾ ಸೈಕ್ಯಾಡೆ, that is the algae, or we can say that Anabenna cycadae is a cyanobacteria, okay, which enters into the root. Okay, remember this one, this is very important. Cycad root, when infected by the bacteria which forms a spores, through that spores Anabenna cycadae enters into the root through the spores. It helps for nitrogen fixation. These roots are later become azeotropic, undergone branching after the entry of Anabaena cycadae, they undergoes to the certain divisions, they become multi-layer, then those roots are known as corolloid roots. When Anabaena enters into the root, it helps in the nitrogen fixation. After that, the root multiply and becomes more coral-like. We can say coral-like, it becomes coral-like or a corolloid root are formed. After entry of Anabaena cycadae, the root becomes more rapid in cell division and increases the number of cells. The structure looks like coral. Those roots are known as the corolloid roots. This is very important. In case of Pinus, we can see the mycorrhiza. In case of Cycas, we can see the Anabaena cycadae. Those roots which are present in cycads, those are corolloid roots. These are one of the characteristic feature of the Pinus and Cycas. In case of Pinus, mycorrhiza type of roots are present. In case of Cycas, corolloid roots are present. Okay. Then next point, the stem which is present in case of gymnosperm, it is very hard. Stem is hard and unbranched. There is no branches, ಯಾವುದೇ branches ಇರಲ್ಲ. Okay. Then erect. I told that it is very vertical to the earth level. Erect or branched. Usually stem is hard, unbranched, erect or branched. Okay. Here next characteristic feature is leaves. Okay. The leaves which are present in gymnosperms are maybe simple or compound. Here simple leaves means, I think many of you observed the leaf arrangement in the branches. Consider this is a leaf. Okay, I will change the color, then you can easily understand. In the branch, the leaves are arranged, depends on the species, characteristic feature. Here I am going to draw the leaves which are arranged oppositely. Okay. Here the petiole, the stalk of the leaves is known as a petiole. This is petiole. Okay. On the stem, the single leaf is arised from the petiole. ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಲೀಫು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟಾಕಿಂದ ಅರೈಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಲೀಫ್. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, I will give the example, badam tree. Okay. Only a single leaf arises from the petiole. Okay. Compound leaves. Here, on the basis of arrangement of leaves on the stem or the branches, we can have the two types of leaves, simple leaves and compound leaves. This topic you have to study in the next lesson, that is structural and anatomical features of plant. The chapter name is structural and organization in case of plants. That is the 5th unit. In the learn detail. Here just I will give some idea about the simple leaves and compound leaves. In case of simple leaves, the petiole is the stalk of the leaf. From the stalk of the leaf, only single leaf is arised. Okay, Umbellifera is the central line which is present in the leaf, that is known as midrib. Midrib which is present in the middle of the leaf. Okay. Here in case of compound leaves, the midrib is more somewhat elongated. Many leaves are attached on the midrib. Many leaves are attached. It's like this. Many leaves are attached on the midrib. Example I can give neem plant. Neem, rose are the example for the compound leaves. Many leaflets, these are not the root, these are not the leaflets, small leaf-like structures, those are leaflets. The leaflets, many leaflets are present on the common midrib is known as the compound leaves, example neem and the roses. Next, here the main point is the gymnosperm leaves may be simple or compound in case of cycas. Cycas is the example, best example for the gymnosperm. Cycas leaves are pinnately compound. Pinnately compound leaves are present. This is very simple. Compound leaves means many rachis are present. Okay. Here number of leaflets are present on the common rachis, which represents the midrib of the leaf, as in case of neem. Okay. Same as in case of neem, the midrib which is present, it is very thick here. Many leaflets are arranged on the midrib like this. Those leaflets are known as the pinnas. Okay. Many pinnas are arranged on the common rachis. This type of arrangement of leaves is known as a pinnately compound leaves are present in case of gymnosperm. Then the leaves which are present on the rachis, they may be needle like, ಸೂಜಿ ಥರ needle like, ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು, ಸೂಜಿ ಪರ್ಣ ಕಾಡುಗಳು, evergreen forest with a needle shaped leaves. Needle like, they are exactly very pointed. The leaves are very thin and very elongated, and they have the cuticle with the thick cuticle. Cuticle is one of the protective layer on the leaves. Okay. Cuticle with a thick cuticle and with a sunken stomata. Sunken stomata. The stomata is the structure which is for respiration and exchange of gases. Here stomata. Stomata andra leaves ಒಳಗಡೆ, leaves ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ plants ಒಳಗಡೆ small pores ಇರ್ತಾವೆ. Usually lower surface of the leaves. Okay, that small pores are very necessary for the exchange of gases. Exchange of gas, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಅದ್ರ ಥ್ರೂ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಪ್ಲಾಂಟಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಓಕೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್. Transpiration means when the water level is more inside the plant, it evaporates from the plant body through the stomata. ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ನೀರಿನ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತಾ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಆವಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದರಿಂದ ಅಂದ ಸ್ಟೊಮ್ಯಾಟ. ಸ್ಟೊಮ್ಯಾಟ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ fills for the transpiration and exchange of gases. Here in case of gymnosperm, the needle-like leaves with a thick cuticle and sunken stomata. Sunken means very hidden. Okay, it is very minute. And also wax coating is present because to reduce the rate of transpiration. Already I told that the stomata is very necessary for transpiration. Okay, the wax coating is present on the stomata because which reduces the rate of transpiration. Wax coating irlilla andra continuously transpiration occurs, which loses the plant loses some more water. Okay, that's why wax coating is present on the gymnosperms to reduce the rate of transpiration. Hence they are well adapted in the high temperature and humid and wind regions. ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ, they are well adapted in high temperature areas also. Then the gymnosperms are heterosporous. While discussing of the pteridophyte, I told that hetero means different. Two types of spores are present in case of gymnosperms. They produce the haploid spores. Those are megaspores and microspores. The male spores are microspores, female spores are the megaspores. These are the heterospores. Two kinds of spores are produced within the sporangia. I told that sporangia is a structure which bears or which forms the spore seed. Okay, here same as in case of pteridophyte, the sporangia which is present which is attached with the sporophyll, that is a leaf-like structure. I can say that two kinds of spores are produced within the sporangia that are borne on the sporophyll. Spore producing structure is known as the sporangia. Sporangia having leaf-like structures are known as the sporophylls. Okay, which are arranged spirally. Okay, many sporophylls remember the pteridophytic characters. There also we studied about the sporophylls. Okay, many sporophylls are arranged to form strobili, or we can say cones. Cones or strobili are present by the arrangement of sporophylls. Okay, then the microspore bearing leaf is known as a microsporophyll. It's very simple. The leaf-like structure which have the sporangia which produces the microspores, that sporophyll is known as a microsporophyll. Microsporophyll antandra microsporophyll, a sporophyll which produces the microspores. Sporophyll which produces microspores. Okay, megasporophyll means which produces, means sporophyll which produces megaspores, that are the female spores. Okay, then the megasporophylls and microsporophylls are arranged separately. The many microsporophylls are arranged to form a male cone or the male strobili. ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೋರೋಫಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೇಲ್ ಕೋನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವು. ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೋರೋಫಿಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಕೋನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೋಬಿಲೈ ವಿಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್. ಓಕೆ, The microspore found in sporangia of the sporophyll developed into highly reduced female gametophyte. Here in case of gymnosperm also, the sporophytic plant body is very dominant over gametophyte. Okay. The sporophylls which forms the cone or strobili, the sporangia of the sporophyll develops highly reduced male microsporophyll which have the microsporangia which forms the microspore. Again it develops to form a male gametophyte. The male gametophyte is formed by the microspores. Okay. Then the male gametophyte is also known as pollen grain, or we can say pollen grain. Okay. These pollen grains have the capacity to transfer by the wind and reach the ovule. Here the male gametophyte or the pollen grains which are present in gymnosperm, they have the capacity to transfer from wind. ಗಾಳಿಯಿಂದ ಹಾರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ they can reach the egg or the ovule, that is a female reproductive structure, egg or ovule. Next one, the megasporophyll. The megasporophyll have the megasporangia, okay, which produces macrospores, or we can say megaspores. The megaspores develops into female gametophyte which forms the ovule. Okay, that ovule have the egg. Okay, the spore which develops to form a female gametophyte of the ovule. Inside the ovule egg is present. Okay. Next, okay, that egg is developed inside the archegonia. You know that female reproductive structure or the female sex organ in case of pyrophytes and pteridophytes, that is archegonia. Here also same thing, inside the megasporangia, megaspores are present, they are develops into female gametophyte which have the archegonia. Inside that archegonia ovule is present, inside that ovule egg is develops. Okay. Then you know that I told here the pollens have the capacity to transfer by the wind and reach the ovule or the egg. Pollen grain reach the egg or ovule. This type of transfer of pollen grains to the egg by the wind is known as wind pollination. Here pollination is possible by the wind. Pollination means transfer of pollen grains towards the egg is known as pollination. For fertilization ಸಂಬಂಧ pollen grains egg ಅನ್ನು ರೀಚ್ ಆಗೋ process ಅನ್ನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, pollination. Okay, pollination ಯಾವುದರಿಂದ ಗಾಳಿ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Here pollination is possible by the wind. Here we can say the wind pollination we can see in case of gymnosperms. Okay, then the egg and sperms unite to form a zygote after pollen grains and egg to form a zygote. This is what? Fertilization. The diploid zygote is formed. Okay, that zygote again develops into a embryo which undergoes to many repeated mitotic division to form a embryo. Okay, this embryo gets nourishment by embryo sac or endosperm. The embryo which takes the nourishment from endosperm, which is formed by the ovary of the gymnosperm. Okay, then again this embryo develops to form a dominant sporophyte, spore producing structure. Dominant sporophyte is produced by embryo. In gymnosperms, independent life like bryophyte and pteridophytes the gymnosperm do not lead the independent life like bryophytes and pteridophytes. They depend on the sporangia of sporophytes. Okay, I told that here the dominant life cycle, the dominant phase in case of gymnosperm is sporophyte. The gametophytic stage is very less. Okay, here in case of gymnosperm we can see the wind pollination. The endosperm is formed by the ovary only or the maternal structures which gives the nourishment to the embryo. The embryo develops into a dominant sporophyte. Here main thing is, here you can see the archegonia inside the female gametophyte or ovule. Okay, in that archegonia egg is present, wind pollination which forms the zygote. By the zygote embryo develops. These are the characteristic features of the gymnosperms. We will discuss about the economic importance of the gymnosperm in the next class. Thank you.